Ian Wright, Steve McManaman and Tim Sherwood. Tim, let's start with you. Antonio Conte's back in the Premier League. How big a challenge with this Tottenham squad currently has he got to get them where Tottenham want to be?
Well, it all depends where Tottenham want to be. I would suggest they want to be in the Champions League. I think he's got a big ask to put them in the Champions League from where they are at the moment with this group of players. But are they better than what they've been showing under Nuno? Absolutely. I think some of these players will be unrecognisable in a few weeks when he starts getting into them. You know, he's very demanding. He demands from everyone at the training ground. Everyone, I mean. And we know that Daniel Levy is at the training ground. He'll be asking him what he's doing every day. You know, Paratici, the sporting director there, he's going to be accountable as well because come January time, there's no way Antonio Conte has took this job if he hasn't been promised some money. There'll be money for him to spend. He will have to spend money if he wants to put them back in the Champions League spot. But it's a big job. But they've got a great run of games coming up. Fantastic run of games. But the track record of the man is, you know, it's there for everyone to see there. It's a fantastic record. He's a serial winner wherever he's been. But so was Jose Mourinho. And he went to Tottenham and won nothing. So hopefully for Antonio and for the Tottenham fans' sake, you know, he can start winning.
I think he's at a different trajectory in his career, though, in respects of like Jose. I thought Jose, since after Chelsea, in fact, I'd say after Inter Milan, I don't think we've seen anywhere near what Jose was capable of. But with him, I feel that he's come to Tottenham at a time where he's literally, they've got no choice. I think they tried for him in the summer. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. And he's come now, I think, Steve, where he's literally got everything he wants. And so he's going to... I see things happening for Spurs.
The crucial thing is, as Tim says, he can't spend any money till January. And he's not been in a job mid-season since 2007. He's always had a pre-season and his own players. So what can he do between now and January with what he's got at his disposal, Maka?
Well, he can get them more organised. He can get them, he feels he could probably get them fitter. He'll get them more difficult to beat. Whether it's just going to be a case of let's just get results until January, until he can do something. I don't expect them to start playing this free-flowing football that they've had in the past. I think it might be a case of let's grin and bear it, let's eke out results, let's climb from 10th to, like Arsenal have, get as high as we can, because it's not that far to jump up the table, and then we'll assess things then. But there's certainly players there who haven't been playing well. There's certain players there who have just drifted away from the starting 11, and you can't believe that they're not in the team. And they've all got points to prove now. Nuno's gone, you can't blame him. Jose's gone, you can't blame him. It might be a different style now what Antonio Conte brings in, but it's up to every individual to try their best and climb up the table, because they are good enough, because they've proved that they're good enough in the past.
You know that he's 3-5-2. So when we see him, that's the system he'll want to play. But when you look at, like you mentioned, players who need to liven up, like Celso and Ndombele, who's meant to be like one of the creators, they have to kick on. Because when you can start with Kane and Son, you've got more than half a chance. I don't know what he's going to do with Dele, how he's going to fit Dele in there if he can. But if anyone can, it's probably him. But I think it's good, like Tim said, I think it's going to come down to he's going to get them fitter, and there's going to be players there who are going to have to liven themselves up. And if they do, like he can improve Ndombele's performance or Lo Celso's performance, because that's where they struggle for me in the midfield. Then you feel like under him they're probably going to start doing a bit.
Do you worry though, being a Spurs man, that he's had so many clubs in such a short space of time, that he's only signed an 18-month deal? That just sends alarm bells going in my mind. That.
He never spends any longer than 2 years at any club he's ever been at. Now, ideally, that would have been an ideal appointment for Daniel Levy. Absolutely not. It'd be the last person you want to employ to go into there. Not just as Antonio Conte, but someone who wants to be there for just 18 months or 2 years of his contract. We know if he's going to be there longer, there's an option for another year, then he's done something right.
Yeah.
I think financially it helps the club out. They haven't got to give him 4 years severance like they did to Jose and like they would have done to Nuno. So it's a fix now. It's what they needed. I mean, it was... Look, Paratici is the sporting director. They brought him into the football club. First thing he did after 3 weeks is give the job to Nuno. Now, he's got a lot to answer for. Now, he wouldn't have said... If Nuno would have said to him, I'm going to win 5 Premier League games, I'm going to lose 5 Premier League games, and you're going to sack me, you would never have believed it. He would never have took the job. But it was the manner of the defeats. Yeah. The manner of the defeats. And the ones they lost to, Steve, were derbies. 4 London derbies. You know, we know what it's like, Reggie. When you're playing in the capital there, the emotion of them derbies is crucial, and especially when you're losing so easily in a North London derby, and then you get beat. I mean, I beat at Manchester United, who are struggling inside as well. I think I had to make a change. I think it's the personality of Nuno, unfortunately, on the side. There was nothing to grab hold of if you're a fan saying, you know, there is with this man. Yeah. This guy's box office. He wears out the technical area. He's up and down. He's demanding. He's screaming at them all of the time. They need to be on it every day in training and when he puts them on the field.
OK, so Antonio Conte's back in the Premier League. He's looking for a winning start with Tottenham. And as history would suggest, 6 of the last 7 have won their first game in charge. The only admission there is Andre Villas-Boas, who lost his first game as Tottenham manager in the Premier League away at Newcastle. And then, of course, came a certain Mr. Sherwood. December 2013. I'll start in the director's box, he said to me. You won't see me sprinting down to the touchline. But you went one down and you were in the tentacle area, Tim.
Yeah, I thought it might be a good idea to sit up there because you get a better view without doubt, but you can't affect it from there, you know, and the only way you stay up there is if you're winning the game very comfortably, which we...
You were against Mauricio Pochettino that day.
Yeah, it wasn't the first time I beat Mauricio, to be honest.
And look who's the happier man now. Poch or Tim?
Not the richer. I'm the poorer one, but...
Our bosses may disagree with that, but anyway, we'll leave that one there for now. Let's get a bit more serious and get some thoughts then ahead of Antonio Conte's first Premier League game in charge of Tottenham. The man himself in a moment. First of all, here's Harry Kane.
Well, the first thing to ask you, Harry, is what have the last few days been like? Bit of a whirlwind, I expect.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy week for sure. But yeah, obviously a lot of information to take in, a lot of hard work, and yeah, obviously 2 games in 4 days or so is never easy. So yeah, obviously we're looking forward to the game. Hopefully we can put what we've worked on onto the pitch and try and get the win. Did
it help on Thursday that it was the regular team, in quote marks, that went out straight away and was asked to perform for the new manager?
Well, I think the manager wants to implement these ideas as quick as possible. Obviously, it's never easy coming in during the season and trying to get the team playing how you want to play. So, yeah, look, as much time as we can on the training pitch, as much time as we can playing games. Everyone needs to be ready to play. So, yeah, like I say, it was good to get the win on Thursday. It was a tough game. But now, obviously, we're hoping to win this one before the international break, and then it'll give the manager a bit more time to work with some of the players.
Antonio, first of all, welcome back to the Premier League. Is this an exciting, special day for you?
Yeah, for sure. And it was for sure a particular week, and from the start of this week, and to start in this way is not easy. But yeah, I'm great. I'm glad to become back in the best league of the world. Very competitive, and I hope to do very well with my team, with my club.
As you say, it can't be easy. You haven't had much time. Have you had time to do any sort of work? Have you had time to look at Everton properly?
Yeah, but in a few days we played two games, important games, because against Vitesse was vital to go to the next round, and we prepared the game in only 2 days, and now we had only 1 day yesterday to prepare the game against Everton, and I enjoyed this, but if I have a bit of time more, it's better.
What are you hoping for from your team today? In what ways can they be better than on Thursday?
I hope to see great commitment, great attitude, great will, desire to fight, to try to do what we tried, only in not in a lot time, but at the same. We prepared the game. We played the game, and we have seen Everton. We watched the video. We are prepared to play this game, and for sure for me, it will be very important to have much more time to spend with the team, to know me. Is the same. To know much better my players, and in this moment for sure, it's better to have the start, the same start 11 like Thursday, because in this moment to make change, I think is not the right moment, and I need time to take the right evaluation of the player.
Thanks, Antonio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, that's interesting what he said about time to make the right evolution of the team. So that team is the same as the one that started Vitesse in the Europa Conference League on Thursday. And it's actually only one change from Nuno's last team, which is Reguilón in for the Celso. And is that a sensible approach, really? He's only had very short space of time. He's not making wholesale changes.
Well, he's got three at the back there, and it's obviously Ben Davies dropping into the left side of a free, gives him the balance.
Personnel, it's
balance with the left foot. Yeah, I think it's not necessarily about formation; it's about the principles. And I think they will. We saw him out of position. He was so passive. He just wasn't trying to get the ball back. I think that would change Antonio Conte. If you look at the running stats over the period of the season, they're nearly bottom.
They are bottom, yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. They should never be that, and they won't be. You know, with this guy, who, like I say, he's very demanding. I think Emerson Royale and Sergio Reguilón are perfect for their wing-back roles. He has to start getting the best out of Harry Kane. We've seen he's had a slow start to the season. He wanted to leave the football club. He would have, if I was Antonio, I would have made a beeline for Harry Kane and said, where's your mind? Are you going to stay at this football club? Where are you going to be after January? Are we going to listen to all the speculation building up to January? And I'll listen to what Harry said. And if Harry said, look, I still want to leave the club if there's a chance in January, if I'm Antonio Conte, he's out of my mind. For now, I would use him. But he will be out of my mind. I think this guy has got the personality to say to Harry Kane, you don't want to play for me, Antonio Conte. You don't want to play for me, you can leave the football club. Get 150 million for him, tell him Daniel Levy, and I will spend it, and I will go and get someone who wants to play for me. I'm not sure what Harry has told him. Perhaps he's changed his mind. Perhaps now, because it's Antonio Conte, he said, I want to stay at the football club. And great for Tottenham fans, because you see the best of Harry Kane then, because his mind is back on the job, doing it for Tottenham.
I think it comes down to see how Harry Kane performs up until January, whatever he said to him, because I don't think Antonio Conte will let him sit around and just play like he's been playing recently. I think the only reason why he's played like that is because he's able to take liberties with Nuno. But with this manager, I think this is the kind of manager, if he's there for 2-3 years, I think he wins something. And so I believe whatever's happened with Harry, I think this is the kind of manager that can convince him to stay with what he's doing.
Do you think he'll win enough, though?
Well,
what does win something mean?
Well, I think if they can get themselves in a position in the next 3 years, I know he's only there for 18 months, but for 3 years, because where they can win where they can be challenging properly and winning the Premier League and then the Champions League, which we saw them get to. I think if Harry Kane could win the Champions League and the Premier League, he'll be happy with that.
Of course he will.
He'll be happy with that.
He'd be ecstatic.
But then it's to try and
But they're nowhere near doing that at the moment, are they? They're in the Europa Conference League.
It's not going to be 18 months, is it? Unless they spend £500 million. It's not going to be 18 months.
We're talking about what happens in January, what he can do in January, how he can get these players to react now, because we know with Son and Kane, they'll score. So if he could keep it solid and they score goals, then he gets to January and puts a couple more in, anything can happen. I'm not saying that they get in top four, but anything can happen with this guy.
I mean, he's won 5 titles in 7 years. He knows how to do it, doesn't he? But this is why I'm asking the question of how far away from perhaps the squads he's had in the past at Inter.
I personally think he's light years away from.
So this is the hardest one he's had.
Yeah, definitely. But the caveat is what he's been promised in January or what he's been promised in the summer, because we know that he's always been given funds to spend and invest. And that's when you reach the goals that you need to reach. If he's been promised unlimited amounts of money in the summer, then he's got an excellent chance this time next year. But he's
only 5 points off fourth now as we sit here.
Oh, no, but I mean, fourth is light years away from Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester City.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not interested in finishing fourth. I know people are interested in finishing fourth. I'm not interested at all.
Well, the most important thing, Macca, Harry Kane isn't.
Exactly. You can get into the Champions League, therefore the club will get X amount of money going forward. But it means absolutely...
That's what Tim's alluding to with Daniel Levy.
It means absolutely nothing finishing fourth in the league. Plucky fourth, 20 points, 30 points, 40 points
financially,
behind the
that's
first.
the point. That
But it doesn't mean anything to a player.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that... I mean, I'm sitting here looking at Tottenham now, looking at the last performance, and they are, you know, years and years and years away from doing anything at this moment in time. Because it's hard to get, it's hard to win the league. It's hard to be the best in your league and then become the best in Europe and beat a Bayern Munich and beat a PSG. and beat a resurgent Real Madrid in 2 or 3 years' time and a resurgent Barcelona. It's really, really difficult.
I think with this manager, he's got the capability. The only thing that you have to look back and say, well, OK, that's a little bit of a downer. But it's 18-month deal. But I believe that if Conte is there beyond that, then Tottenham will be in and around it, I think.
Let's get back to the short term, because you've got experience of this when you come in, and Adebayor, you just mentioned, was a perfect example. He has to get the best, as any coach does, out of the same players as Nuno had now between now and January. Do you think he'll get a lot more?
Absolutely. I mean, he couldn't get much less. I mean, the passion will be there. Out of possession, for sure, they're going to be a huge amount better. I agree with Righty. They're not going to start pressing from the goalkeeper's kicks and right on the edge of the box. There'll be a certain place over the halfway line where they're very aggressive. They will stay compact. They will look to counter-attack. I think they've got Son, they've got Lucas Moura, they've got ball carriers, good energy, who can take them forward on the counter-attack. You're playing Skip and Hojbjerg in there at the moment. I'm not sure he's convinced. I think Hojbjerg possibly will be that one. I think he's bang average. I really do. I think he's responsible. He can win the ball back, but he's not been showing that. I'm not sure he plays with the intensity, what he would want, and the responsibility. So he's gone him and Skip in there. He had Matic and Kante at Chelsea. They were his two. They were the responsible ones. They're the ones who broke it up. They set the tone. They started the press. You know, it's not necessarily pressing from the front. He wants his forward players to be withdrawn. He wants the midfield and the wide boys, the wing backs, to win the ball back and give it to the forward players, and then they take them forward. I think here they will be on no uncertain terms what is the demands are from every player. Every single day on that training field, he'll be drilling them. I think he's got a tough job to do, but in the short term, I think he can win. I think he can win this season. I think they'll win the Europa Conference League. It's full of pub teams. There's only Roma who are left in it, and they're struggling at the moment. They can win it. They can win this tournament. It's low-hanging fruits. That's what's on offer. Go and nick it. West Ham, as obviously West Ham in the Carabao Cup, that's another trophy. Listen, they're not ready to win a Champions League or the Premier League. Go and win a Carabao Cup. Go and win Europa Conference League. They're capable of doing it. You win Europa Conference League, you qualify automatically for Europa League next season. It'll be far easier doing it in that route than it will be for the league position at the moment.
OK, let's have a look at today.